It was everything everywhere all at once. Sometimes too many things, too many places at once and you can get lost, but it helps to focus on things. Obviously, the amazing Michelle Yeoh is one thing to focus on. The whole reason I myself came to see this flick in the first place. Much as this movie gives you to absorb, it was easy to keep my eyes on the beautiful Yeoh. Oh, and the kid from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is in this flick. He's older odiously, but he still sounds like the kid from the Goonies. How lucky he got to play Yeoh's baby daddy in this joint. Last and definitely not least, it was good to see James Wong in this film. You could tell they most likely made some filming adjustments to assure the 90-something-year-old actor can do the role, but that's what you do when you have legends do your flick. Speaking of legends, I almost forgot about Jamie Lee Curtis, who seemed like she was having fun in her role. The fact that this movie is about a multiverse, I low-key was expecting a multiverse connection between who Yeoh plays in this movie, and her character in Shang-Chi. That would have been cool. It's interesting that this is like the third movie that came out in March that's about the mommy-daughter relationship between Asian women. What's even more interesting is how they go in order. Turning Red is about a 13-year-old and her mom. Uma is about an 18-year-old and her mom, and the girl playing Yeoh's daughter looks like she's possibly in her early 20s. Don't know when this became a hot plot in movies, but I will admit I prefer how the story lays out here, but only because I relate more to an Asian woman in her 20s over a middle schooler. The music in this film is great. The movie was filmed in the context that the story is about a laundromat owner in her midlife dealing with where she came from and where she's going, but the music actually fits perfectly into the ideal of this woman being the key to saving the multiverse, and it made for a lot of the entertainment. Just these big orchestra cues that make it sound like I'm watching Dune, contradicting the image of Yeoh being a worn-out blue-collar mom. Spectacular. I say it's good. It's all over the place and it can be a handle to process, but it has a good cast to concentrate on. There's a point here where we are swept up in sensory overload, where so much stuff is thrown at us that we tune it out. I reached a point about 2/3 through this where I couldn't get my mind back in it. Have we reached a point where we have no expectations of a conclusion? When one has someone playing multiple characters in multiple settings, there needs to be something tying it together. The protagonist needs to be someone we identify with, who has wishes and hopes that lead us on. She seemed as confused as the storyteller and the husband. I guess I'll read some more about this film and hope with guidance to try to figure it out a bit. Obviously, all these universes and all these actions, way too much battling in my estimation, are leading somewhere. I thought the film had ended about 6 times. I don't mind being brought back in, but I wish I understood where we just landed. Yes, there is a lot going on and it is violently splashed on the screen, but I ended up exhausted and unsatisfied. Rarely does a movie hit me hard and I go along for the ride. Every moment has a spectacle to it. Even the simplicity of having your taxes done. Often silly, mostly confusing, but entirely entertaining. It was great to see Short Round back on the big screen with a very glamored down Michelle Yeoh as a married couple on the brink of fracturing a family unit.